All right, so unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to be there this week. So I was going to do this with you, so you're just going to have to follow this video instead. So I apologize. I think I already showed you what the final project is. There's not going to be enough time to do it in the last class because we only have this class in next week. So for this class, so by next week, you should have this done. This will be what you do, okay? Basically, I already kind of showed you this. It's just an animated comic that you can click and it does each thing, right? So you get the idea. All right. So that's the idea. All right. So you should. That's what we're gonna do. All right. So hopefully you've already been making some graphics and things for this. You have your concept. I'm just gonna show you how to do the slideshow part in a very kind of simple way, and then just have this part ready, and then like in next class you can kind of just work on the graphics / animations and such. Okay. So with that being said, I'm just gonna go ahead and make it. Okay. So we're gonna be in animate here. We'll just do file new, just that way I can see all the options. It's harder when you see it here. I just want to go ahead and go to web and choose very high. Make sure it says HTML5 canvas. The rest of this is fine. Hit create. Hopefully this goes away. There it goes. Okay, so I'm just gonna back this thing up. All right. So we have our we have just a single stage here, and it has this here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to make we're going to need 3 panels, right? One for each one of our slides that we go to. So I'm just going to go to the rectangle tool here. For the fill, I'll just do like a mid-gray, and the stroke we'll do black. And I'm just going to go ahead and make it like, actually we'll do 2, okay? In the end, we can take this off. It's just because I need to be able to have something so that I know what they are, okay? So this is just going to be a placeholder slide. So I'm just going to go to the top right here. And actually, I'm going to go to view, go to snapping, and it says I have all the snappings on. Okay, didn't look like it. Okay, and I'm just going to draw and try to snap it so that it's basically to the size of it, right? So if I double click, you'll see, hopefully you see, that I have the whole shape here. Okay, so we're just going to call this slide 1. I'm just going to go ahead and just so that I know that it's something, I'm going to put something in there, like just a really rough drawing of what I wanted to have happen, right? So I'm just going to have the paintbrush here. Again, we're going to delete all this eventually. I'm just putting this in here so we know that it's something. Actually, I don't want that one. Let's do this one. I don't want to do that one either. Hang on, sorry. I like the regular flavor. Here we go. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so I got the thing here that strokes this, and I'm just going to draw what it is real roughly. So if you have a rough idea, so it's just supposed to be the cone guy, right, sitting on the street. So something like this, right? So that's the first slide. Woo. Okay. What I'm going to do is go to regular select. I'm just going to grab the whole thing. It's going to make it into a symbol. So I can hit F8 or just go to modify, convert to symbol. Go ahead and just make it a movie clip, and we're just going to call this panel. Let's do it a capital P. Panel 01 _ MC for movie clip. Okay, so that's our first panel. Bam, great. I'm going to delete that. It's in my library, so we didn't actually get rid of it. I just deleted that symbol that we made. I'm just going to make another one. So I'm going to go here. Once again, I'm going to click and drag, like so. And once again, I'm just going to do a really rough drawing of what it is, just so that I know, just so I can distinguish that one's different from another one, right? So it's got eyes. Great. There's number 2. I'm going to go ahead and grab the whole thing. Again, I'm going to hit F8 or go to modify, convert to symbol, and we'll call this panel 02 _ MC and leave it as movie clip. Great. Let's go ahead and delete that guy. Boom. Next one. Do my next panel. Okay. Doesn't snap very well. Okay. And then the last one I think was the baby, right? So I'm just going to draw the little baby guy. Yeah. And then he sees it, basically. No. All right. Great drawings. Okay. I just need to have something in there. So I'm just going to also do this one, panel 03 _ MC. Okay. And I'm going to delete it. So the idea is that you can just have 3 panels. I have my first panel, second panel, third panel. I just need something in there so that we can see what they are. It'll make more sense when we put it together. So just have like 3 panels, so on and so forth. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to back this up a little bit. I'm going to grab the first panel. I'm just going to bring it over here, drag it out of the library, and I'm just going to snap it to the edge. I'm going to grab the second panel. I'm going to drag that over here, and we're going to snap this one next to that one. Grab the third panel, and let me see. Okay, it won't let me do it. I'm just going to grab the third panel here, and we'll snap it to this edge. Okay, so now it will let me. So I've got the 3 panels in a row. It looks like this one's slightly off, so I'm just going to, there we go. Okay, so I got my 3 panels in a row. Now, this needs to loop, so I actually need to take that first panel and also have it in the back, or on the end as well. You can either duplicate it here or just drag it out from here again. And I'm just going to take this and snap this to the end, okay? So you should see first panel, second panel, third panel, and then the first panel again, all right? Great. So now what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and just put those together, okay? So I'm just going to back this up again. All right. So this is actually my stage, and then these are off to the side. I'm going to grab them all together, all 4 of them, right? Well, it's the same one twice. And then we're going to make that into a symbol. So modify, convert to symbol, and we'll call this all panels _MC. All right. Now, what I want to do is I just want to animate this, that it's going to slide to this one, right? Then it's going to slide to this one. Then it's going to slide back to 1. And then when it restarts, it'll look like it's right back where it started. Okay, so that's why we have the same one on the last. All right, so that's the goal. So I want it to happen, we're just going to have it take 1 second to slide from each one just to keep things simple. So 1 second would get me to here, right? So if I slid from first to second, that would take 1 second. From second to third, that'd be 2 seconds. From third back to here would be 3 seconds. We end up needing to do 4 seconds because I got to slide back. I think, wait, 1. So 1, 2, 3. Is that what we need? Let's do it to here. So I'm going to go to here. You can hit F5 or right click. Make sure you're on 3 seconds. And just do insert frame. Okay? So, and we'll just call this panels, this layer, so that we know what it is. Okay, so these are our panels. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to 1 second. Oh, actually, before we do this, I'm going to right click inside of here. And we're going to go ahead and let's just make this a classic tween. Okay? I'm going to go to 1 second. And you can hit F6 or you can just right click and insert keyframe. Okay. And I'm just going to take this and I'm going to hold shift just so it stays straight. And I'm just going to slide it so that that one's in there. So now if you look, it goes from here, slides there at 1 second. Okay. Now we're going to go to 2 seconds. I'm going to hit F6 this time, or you can just right click and go insert keyframe. And I'm just going to hold shift just so that it snaps. Otherwise, it'll be all over. If I hold shift, it keeps it straight. And we're going to center it on the third panel. Great. Okay. So we go from 1 panel to 2 to 3, and then we need to go back to 1 again. Okay. So we're just going to go to the end here. And again, I'm just going to hit F6 this time to put in the blank keyframe, or just to insert a keyframe. And I'm just going to slide this till it's just about right. Okay. So if you look, it's just going to be basically just it's sliding across. If I hit enter, you'll see it's just looping, right? And if we hit control enter, it's just going to look like it's looping. And this is perfect because that means that the end one is the same as the first one. So it just looks like one continuous loop, okay? So functionally, we have all the pieces in there to make this work, okay? Good. So the next thing I'm going to need is the button to play. Okay. So let's just make another layer, and we'll just call this buttons. Okay. And I'm just going to go to the first frame. Make sure you're on the first frame here. Just grab this at first frame, and I'm just going to make a play button. So this would be the same as what we did. I'm going to go ahead and just lock this so that we don't accidentally mess with the panels that we just animated. I'm going to go to this. I'm just going to go to the polystar, and we did this before, if you recall. Make sure it's a 3-star, and then I'm just going to draw a triangle. And I'm not going to go through and make the button and all that. You should hopefully remember we did that in the previous thing for the player. Okay, so this is just going to be our symbol for the button. So just modify, convert to symbol, and we're going to call this the play button. And underscore btn, and then we're going to choose button, okay, like that, and hit OK. All right, so now we got a play button. Great. So now we have all the elements we need in order to make this function. Now what we're going to do is we just need to add the code to actually make this work, okay? So what I want to have happen is I do not want this to just keep looping constantly. I want to be able to hit play to tell it to go to the next frame. It's actually very simple. It's going to be simpler than the other things that we've done. So all we're going to do is I need to give this a unique instance name so I can use it with code. So we'll just call this play. No, we can't use play. Sorry. We'll call this play button. Okay, call it play button. So that's our play button. Okay, you can hit F9 or you go to Window and you go Actions. Okay, and what I want to do are a couple of things. First, what we want to do is I need to have I need it to stop because right now it's just constantly playing, so I want it to stop. So I'm going to click on the first frame here. Okay, so make sure you click on that first frame. Then we're going to go to Code Snippets. We're going to go to HTML5 Canvas because we're doing web stuff. Timeline navigation, and you're just going to double click on stop at this frame. And that's just going to make it, you'll see it says actions, frame 1, and it says this dot stop. Gloriousness. Okay, and then you'll see it added an actions layer, and it added a little A. And all we're going to do is we're going to go to the 1 second, click inside of here to make sure you grab that frame, and we're just once again going to double click on this. And then I just like to get rid of all this extra stuff here. Okay, so you'll see that basically it says to stop at this frame, says to stop at this frame. We're just going to go ahead and go to 3 seconds or 2 seconds. Yeah, 2 seconds. Put it right there. And once again, make sure you click on that frame and then stop at this frame. Okay, wonky donk, badoop. And then we don't need one here because it's going to stop on this one. So we don't have to put one on the end. Otherwise, you'd have 2 stops, right? Because this, if you recall, this is the same as this one. So it's just going to go like this, and then it's going to start right here, but it will stop because there's a stop frame there. So we don't need one in the end. Okay, now if we were to test this, just Control-Enter. You'll see it doesn't do it. It's not moving anymore because it's told to stop. This doesn't do anything because there's no functions attached to it, all right? All right, so now what we need to do is make the play button work. This is actually pretty easy. What I want you to do is make sure you're on the first frame, select that play button, and we're going to go, and I want to attach to it to click to go to frame and play. So just double click on that. And it's going to make all of this. It's going to say this dot play button, yada, yada, yada. I'm going to get rid of all this extra comment stuff. Get rid of that. Now, most of this is fine, except for this part, because right now it's going to go to frame 5 and then play from there. That's actually not what I want. I want it to just be this dot play with a lowercase p. Change that p to lowercase, and then take out the parameter here. Okay, so now it's just this dot play with nothing inside the parentheses. Now if we hit Control-Enter, and if I hit this, it plays, but it's going to stop at that frame. Click this, it plays. Stops at the frame. Click this, it plays. All right, and we can basically just go right through. And this is more or less what you're going to make, and then you're going to put your graphics inside of here. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. You should have this done before next class. And then next class, what you can do is I will just have you guys basically make your all the graphics and stuff, whatever you need to make. So that way you'll have most of the class just to work. If you want to go, and I would go through, don't do a crappy play button looks just like this. You can do the over and down and make it look cool, and whatever you want your play button to look like, make it neat, right? Whatever makes sense. Like I might make this look like a cone, like the actual cone shape. That would be kind of neat. I don't think I did that in the actual thing, but and if you want to do like a little bit more finalized graphics, so what you would want to do is once you've got that done, this is good enough. This is as much as I'm expecting, but if you did want to keep working on it, just unlock the panel section, and then all you got to do is just go. If you double click on this, this is the whole panel. Just as you remember here, let me close out these snippets. Okay, come on. Right, so I double click on it, and then I can see each individual one, right? Because inside of all panels are the individual panels. Then you double click on side of this panel, and now I'm in the drawing of this panel. So I can change this panel. And if I change something in here, you'll see, because this one's a duplicate, it changes it there too. Okay, so and then you see, so we're in the scene, in all panels, and then in panel 1. And I just click back to scene, and any changes I made will be there. Okay, so we're just inside of objects inside of objects. But just get the play button done. And then you'll be pretty much set up. And then after that, there's little things we can do as far as like the animation, like sub animation inside, such as what you see, here, where you can click on things and we can do animations inside of those ones that I just showed you. But that's up to you. Okay. That took like 12 minutes to actually do it. So hopefully that isn't too much work. If you run into an issue, let me know. Send me the file and tell me what your issue is, and then I will hopefully try to be able to fix it and what have you. All right. So sorry I couldn't be there in class. Basically, there's like a meeting that I'm required to go to, and I skipped it last time, and my boss mentioned that I skipped it, so I can't skip it again. So but I'll be there next week or whatever. And if you have any issues, just let me know. All right. Good luck, guys.